What's going on, guys? My name is Tabz, but of course you guys know that, and in today's video I wanted to talk about DMA. This is going to be one of the first videos that I do on this channel where we break down different aspects of direct memory access cheating, and today I wanted to start out with fusers. So the cool thing about fusers are they're going to allow you to draw ESP without actually having to do it on your main computer, which is a detection vector, as you would be just straight up drawing on the game overlay or any other overlay that can just generally get you banned. Nothing you want to draw should be done on the actual main PC. Now, I want to make it very specific when I say DMA PC. In my case, I'm talking about this computer right here, which I built specifically for cheating with DMA. But when I say gaming computer, that is the computer with the DMA card in it. So this is a fuser right here. It's going to be a little bit hard to see, but I will be unplugging it and showing you how to install it and show you how generally it works for games in this video. So let's quickly explain what it is with the top-down camera. So let's get into it. All right, to make this easier on everyone, we're going to go to the top-down now. So I just want to say that this is going to be F for front, B for back, and in the front here, we're going to have the front of the box. We're going to have little LEDs here. We're going to have a power button. We're going to have K1, K2, K3, and K4. So we don't have to worry too much about power for K1, K2, K3, and K4. I'll simply explain that. So at the front of the box, we're going to have our power button and our LED indicators. These indicators are simply going to indicate whether or not your displays are plugged into the box correctly, and it's very simple to do so. Your K1 is going to be your overlay cutout or alpha reduction of the black, because again, in most cases, it's going to be a black screen, and you're going to want to be able to edit to see if you can reduce the alpha just a little bit more to give yourself either clearer ESP or to give yourself harsher ESP so that your ESP is more visible. So this might be different product to product, but they all generally have the same setup. So K1 is going to be reduce, K2 is going to be increase, and K3 is going to be a hard reset, and K4 is going to be a toggle. So you're going to hard reset the alpha that you set with K1 and K2. With K3, you can do a hard reset of those two, and then K4 is going to toggle it. So what toggling is going to do is we'll draw an arrow down here just so it's a little bit easier to understand, but the toggle is going to do HDMI only or HDMI. And basically what that means is you'll either see only the game, you click K4, it's going to toggle on, and you'll get the HDMI and overlay, meaning your ESP will draw on your screen. So that's the basic of the front use. And in some of these HDMI fusers, and even DisplayPort fusers, the K1, K2, and K3 buttons are not going to be there. A lot of them are just pre-set up to be smart enough to know how to do it. And you don't necessarily need the adjustments on some of the newer ones. On this one in particular, because it's the one I own, that's how that works. So all you really need to know is that once you plug it in, generally the default setting for K1 and K2, you don't need to touch them. If you ever do touch them and you don't like it, just hit K3 to do the hard reset. And K4 is going to toggle between HDMI only and HDMI for the overlay, meaning you're going to go to your gaming monitor, back to a mix so that your ESP is on your screen. Again, it's going to be drawing the overlay from the second PC, so now I'll explain the back side. On the back side of the box, it's going to look like this. You're going to have a little port for HDMI and another 2 ports for HDMI and your power. The power might be on the left side or right side, it doesn't really matter. First port is going to be your HDMI to game, so we're going to do GPC. HDMI 2 is going to be your cheating computer or secondary computer, so we're just going to put 2PC. And the output is going to go to your gaming monitor, and we'll just put GM. So very simple. We're just going to put H1 and H2. You're going to want to make sure you do this correctly because you need a base layer, which is going to be your gaming PC. So you want to make sure your GPC is in HDMI 1, and you're going to need your second PC in HDMI 2 because that is going to be the overlay on top. So when you toggle, you don't want to get them confused because then it just won't work and you'll have a lot of problems. Basically from here, to set the fuser up to work correctly, you want to make sure that both of your monitors for your cheating computer as well as your gaming computer are set to the same resolution and obviously the same refresh rate for the most not laggy experience, because again, you can still have lag if these things are not set up correctly, but you're looking at generally a 0.3 ms response. And again, this is going to support 1440 at 120, 1080 at 240, and I believe it also does 4K at 60. So again, 1440 at 120, 1080 at 240, 4K at 60, 0.3 ms all the way up to 4K at 60. The way you're going to set this up, I'm going to show you right now. So let's hop over to my computer and give you a live example of how we're going to do this. So this is the ditch infuser. So again, we have power D1, D2, H2, H1. We have the K1, K2, K3, and K4 switch. And then if we spin this around, it is plugged in at the moment, so it's a little hard to do, but we have our fan here. So now with this unplugged, again, this is might look a little confusing, but we have HDMI, HDMI 1, and HDMI 2. This is gonna be your output if it has no number on it. This is gonna be your base gain. This is gonna be your overlay. And of course, you can do DC 12 volt for power or Type C. Type C has failed on me and just stopped working mid-go. But this is what a fuser looks like. Very basic, very simple to understand, honestly. So that's going to be right into HDMI 2 is going to be our secondary computer. This is going to be your gaming computer. Plug that right in there. And then right here is our output. So again, the one that is not labeled is going to be your output. And then if you grab the power supply, you can then plug that in just like so. There we go. Everything's plugged in, power on, and we can see that only one is on currently because I currently have it disabled in Windows. All right, once your secondary computer is started up and you are connected, you're simply going to want to power this on right here by hitting the power button. Go into your monitor settings if you have multiple inputs and switch to the HDMI input. From there, you will see it all light up, and that's telling you that the display is running. It's going to quickly move over. And as you can see, input 12560 by 1440, 120 hertz. To get this synced up, you're simply going to go to display settings, duplicate the displays, and make sure that in advanced display, you choose what monitor you're using. So this is going to be the Alienware. This is at 119 hertz as the main display. The secondary is going to be 120, and that is going to be the fuser. Now, where the fun magic comes in is obviously you're going to have to set your background on your secondary computer, as you can see up top, to black. I'm going to hit K4 really quickly. So you can see up top, you can see my main display. If I hit Chrome, for example, and open Chrome and drag it down, oh, how am I doing that? So if I hit K4 now, HDMI only, the base input is going to be my main computer. So if I hit Windows, hit it again, all of a sudden overlay is on, and that's exactly how ESP is going to work. So again, if I hit this, you'll see the overlay is now toggled on. It is displaying the display over the first HDMI input. Hit it again, it's turning off. And obviously I can continue to hit this, pan over and zoom. Same button, doing the same thing. Spam it all I want. It's gonna keep doing the same thing. And that's pretty much it. To put it as simply as I can, it's very simple. I know it kind of confuses some people, but essentially what you're doing is putting a base layer, your game, and an overlay, your cheat, onto one display. What this is doing that nothing else really on the market can do is removing the alpha or the black contents from an image and displaying the color over the actual other image. I don't think there's an actual use case scenario for this other than HDMI mixing, where in like the movie industry and just like live, any kind of live production where this would be used, it's thousands and thousands of dollars for a HDMI mixer. So it is kind of cool to see that this came out of the cheating scene and that this is what it's used for. Anyways, I hope this video was educational for you and you guys got a better idea of what a fuser is. There's tons on the market, and basically the only difference between the Ditchin version 4 that I have and like the newer ones like the Captain 5th generation, for example, is going to be higher resolutions at higher refresh rates and obviously DisplayPort for the Captain Mini. But that one I believe is about $450, whereas this one was, I believe, under $200. Again, I'll have the price on screen just so you're well aware, because I believe it was under $200. I think even shipped it was under $200. Either way, it's a good deal if you're looking into getting into proper DMA cheating where you're not going to be writing memory, the best thing you can do for visuals is definitely grab a fuser. You could obviously use a capture card. I've spoken about this. I've done a TikTok on it. I'll play it right now. Let's walk you through how you're going to be setting up a capture card for your DMA PC rather than a fuser if you decide you do not want to buy a fuser. This is going to be a 4K capture card in most use cases. Let's get this bad boy installed. All right, you're then going to take your card and you're going to slide it into the slot. Once you've confirmed it's all the way in and you can press against it nice. HDMI cord from main computer into the capture card, and then one HDMI from the DMA computer into your gaming monitor. This bar will go away if you simply go up here to full screen this and then full screen here. Yeah, you'd probably be getting a better performance boost if you had a proper cable to do 120 hertz. Again, I'm stuck on 60, so that's pretty good tracking for even 60. Overall, I like it. I could probably work on the ESP being set up a little bit better as I don't have it full screened. I hope this video helped you guys determine whether you wanted to buy a capture card or if you would rather have bought a fuser. The only downside of that is it means that you have to capture your actual gaming computer and play it on the monitor that is running the capture card software, meaning you're gonna have a little bit more input lag and it's not gonna work for every single game. And it also means that your actual cheating computer, the one running the cheat, has to be beefy to keep up with especially 1440p inputs at 120 plus hertz. The AverMedia Live Gamer 4K is definitely something that will work for most people, but you do have to have a very, very fast motherboard to do so. And most people's secondary computers are not going to be built to handle that, as most are honestly just using little pre-builts from China. Anyways, my name's Tabs. I hope you enjoyed the video and I'll see you on the next one. Later, bros. Peace.